Well, thanks again, everyone, for taking time out of your day to join us. I, as Elena mentioned, am the Global Director of Accounts over at Klickly. My name is Darren Lemus. Today, we wanted to cover some topics relating to customer acquisition strategies in 2021. Of course, we're in 2021, where I can't believe we're already in Q2. Time is flying by, but hopefully, the stuff that you get today will help you in Q2 and beyond. So with that being said, a quick agenda for the day. For those of you that don't know who Klickly is, who we are, what we do, I want to give you a quick introduction to Klickly. Then we'll pop into some 2021 strategies. Of course, some key takeaways. We want to make sure that we simplify everything and leave you some great takeaways. And finally, for everybody listening in today, we have a bonus exclusive offer. So we'll kind of go into the details to end everything, and I'll pass it to Elena's way. So getting into Klickly, for those of you that don't know who we are and what we do, Klickly is an invite-only commerce engine powering customer acquisition paid on performance. Performance is the key aspect. We actually require no upfront spend. Cost per impressions, cost per clicks that you're typically paying for upfront, Klickly is covering. You're only paying when Klickly is driving a sale. Once you get loaded up, you're actually able to launch commission-based ads in less than 10 minutes, no touching code or anything, across 25 million plus premium online destinations. So think Vogue, Cosmo, ESPN, Men's Health, etc. It's really just 3 simple steps to get set up. First is selecting your products. Second, those products then populate, your ad unit is created. And third, which is probably the most important, brands are completely in control. You're actually selecting the commission that you'd like to pay out once we drive that sale. So once you get all set up, Klickly is really suitable for full funnel. Most of the brands come to us for kind of that mid to top funnel acquisition, but we can really do everything from driving new customers to retargeting, etc. So we're really a great channel to add into your marketing stack. So with that being said, I want to jump into some 2021 strategies. I keep saying 2020, it's like this staple thing in my head from the pandemic and everything that's been going on. 2021 strategies, we're in Q2. Really want to talk about that. Speaking of the pandemic, I think with 2020 going into 2021, we've all seen it. There's been a crazy amount of influx into the e-commerce space, which in turn is creating a lot of competition. And so part of what we wanted to bring up today was how do we set ourselves apart? How do we allow ourselves with all of the competition to further our marketing? And so one of the first things that we thought about that we wanted to pass on was diversifying your channels. Of course, it's a great way to accelerate new customer growth, but diversifying your channels, there's a ton of benefits, many that we could mention, but given time, we wanted to really shorten it down to 4 main benefits we felt in terms of diversifying your marketing channels. That first one is lowering your risk. By all means, if you have that racehorse, that power channel that is driving a ton of your revenue, that's amazing. You want to keep it going. But you want to make sure that you're very cognizant of what happens if it shuts down, right? What happens if it goes down for an hour, a day, a week? Really diversifying your channels allows you to lower that risk of having all your eggs in one basket. Second to that, it allows you to expand your reach. Of course, you always want to make your product available to your audience. Understanding for the most part where your audience is, given the marketing channels that you're currently running, diversifying your channels allows you to expand that reach. You might be able to be showing your products to places where you never thought your audiences would be. And in turn, now there's a lot more brand awareness, product discovery, which in turn could be sales. On the third front, getting clients from unexpected channels. 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand, right? As you're expanding your reach and you're testing these new channels, it's a great possibility for you to discover unexpected successes. A lot of the times, given that Klickly is very new, people test us and unexpectedly are really great with the surprises that they get from our channels. Fourth and last, we want to stand out from our competitors, right? We want to make sure that we're not necessarily following everything that everybody is doing, more so being the leader of the pack. I did have a question from Peter. It looks like, do we need Facebook ads? By all means, yes, Facebook ads. A lot of brands, probably every brand that we work with, to be honest, use Facebook ads. Facebook is Facebook. It's giant. It has great targeting. For the most part, some crazy changes coming up with iOS 14. But Facebook is still Facebook. Absolutely, you need Facebook ads. This is more so diversifying outside of Facebook ads. Or if you're a Google champion and you're only using Google, diversifying outside of Google. So really just getting more of a spread in terms of the channels that you're using. So that's our first, right? Diversify your channels. Second, kind of piggybacking off of diversifying your channels, a really great channel to start with is a performance marketing channel. Performance marketing is a great low-risk channel to acquire new customers. And as kind of an additional bonus, just acquire new traffic to your website. So to go over some of the benefits, again, there's many, but to really shorten it down to 4, it's low risk. Very low risk in that you're only paying when we're driving a sale, right? And so within performance marketing, there's no upfront costs, which are risky, right? In terms of I might need to spend 5, 10, 15, but I don't necessarily know if that money is going to convert. Whereas performance marketing, you're paying out on a sale. So it allows you to introduce yourself into a performance marketing channel without that risk of knowing whether it'll work or not. Second to that, it extends your reach. Again, you want to make sure that you're reaching a more substantial and diversified audience on new channels. Third, probably most important for a lot of brands, it can lower your customer acquisition costs. That risk falls onto the ad company itself. We only get paid when you do, right? It allows for a very beneficial partnership on both sides. If we're not performing or any performance marketing company is not performing, they're not getting paid. And then finally, it feeds in very well to your retention strategies. Again, of course, you want new customers to turn into lifetime customers, but also that new traffic allows you opportunity to gather new data and information, be it phone numbers, emails, maybe filling out surveys, etc. The more traffic to your site, the better, of course. But at the end of the day, it can feed into those retention strategies that will lengthen your lifetime value of a customer. So first, diversifying our channels. Second, moving into the performance marketing channel aspect. Third, which I'll probably place my heaviest emphasis on, is establishing your own digital real estate and first-party data. Please, please, please take the steps now. If you're not doing any sort of that thing, please do it right now. I can't emphasize that enough. Part of the reason I mention this is preparing for the cookie apocalypse. If you haven't heard or know what the cookie apocalypse is, essentially it's a very, very large change coming as it relates to data privacy and basically the death of the third-party cookie. It's going to make targeting very difficult, almost impossible on an individual basis, and also retargeting almost non-existent. Basically, a cookie disappears and it makes it much harder. So because of that, we definitely want to make sure that we're establishing our own digital real estate within communities. And what I mean by that is not any sort of paid aspect where you're paying for digital real estate or top of search engine results page, more so getting into those top funnel socially driven channels that help create awareness for your brand. Now, to emphasize, this is kind of the homework that you all need to do on the brand side, really diving into those communities, being part of the conversations, making sure that your brand and your products are part of that conversation. And then second to that, making sure that as you build that and people find interest and come to your website, you're collecting all the contact information that you can. Again, be it phone numbers, emails, etc. Whatever information that's going to further help you identify and understand your audience, please continue to collect it. Outside of that, you just want to make sure that you're staying up to date on upcoming regulations. So really plan ahead and be communicative, not only with your team, but your partners. Understand proper resources to tap into. Maybe there's certain people, mentors, partners that you work with that are really well informed and have connections within Google that can keep you up to date. And then finally, again, kind of relating to partners, right? Maybe do an audit of your partners. Understand truly what data and information that they have, if it is first-party data, in fact, so that if and when that change comes down the pipeline, you're ready and you're in a very solid position. Finally, as we look into 2021 strategies, we want to diversify our channels. We want to look at performance marketing channel. We want to make sure that we're owning digital real estate and gathering information. But as we're doing all of this and we're adding new channels, new platforms, etc., it is super important to choose platforms that complement and enhance your overall customer journey. You really want to make sure that it's flowing, you have a proper 1-2 punch. And I think it's part of the reason that Klickly and SMSBump teamed up. The customer journey here, as you can see, goes all the way from awareness into advocacy, right? And where Klickly stands is a bit more on that acquisition front. Klickly can certainly cover everything from acquisition to retargeting, but we really tend to focus on that mid to top funnel, really sticking in on awareness into that purchase, this top funnel. So we really leverage Klickly's performance-based customer acquisition and first-party data to get those new customers with no upfront spend. Now, once we get them, as Elena mentioned earlier, SMSBump comes into play and really focuses on that retention, right? Again, they can help with the purchase aspect. If you're collecting information on your website and people are considering purchasing, by all means, they can make sure that they purchase and they get into that retention. But that sweet spot, that 1-2 punch is Klickly driving an acquisition to SMSBump, really honing in on the retention for all aspects of post-purchase. So super important that you have your channels speaking to one another and they complement. Now, a lot of information thrown at you, a ton of details within each of these four. So as mentioned on our agenda, I want to make sure that I really provide some simplistic key takeaways for you all. So on the key takeaway front, first and foremost, really make sure that you diversify your channels. Diversification lowers your risk and can lead to new grapevines. Second to that, performance marketing channel, a really great entryway into that. It allows for easy testing and can lower your customer acquisition costs. Third, again, probably the most important, begin right now. Like as soon as this webinar is over, begin planning on how you will address the cookie apocalypse. Really work on owned digital communities, work on data collection. Those two are a great place to start. Finally, look for partners with strong first-party data. Again, just really looking into partners that you're working with currently, probably future partners that you're taking a look at working with. Make sure that their data is solid, that it's first-party data. I have a question from Peter, it looks like. Is this good for drop shipping in relation to performance marketing? Yeah, drop shipping is a little different, right? Typically with drop shipping, your margins are a lot slimmer. They're a bit more difficult to work with. But performance marketing can still work very well as long as you're taking your margins into effect. On our side, we do work with drop shippers, and it is quite beneficial in that our brands can select the commission that they'd like to pay out. So again, oftentimes those drop shippers can come in, play around with the margins that they do have, be it slim or not, and still get brand awareness, product awareness on premium channels. And even if you're not using Klickly in any way, if you can find a premium marketing channel that allows you for more brand awareness, then perfect. Still great. I do want to get to our bonus, right? Our exclusive for all of the listeners today. As mentioned previously, Klickly is invite only. So for everybody listening in, it's kind of our thank you for your time. We want to offer an exclusive perk. First and foremost, access to our platform. You typically have to go through pretty long process, but we are essentially skipping a line for you and allowing you to come on the platform. Second to that, providing you some free ad boosts, which essentially are guaranteed impressions on premium sites. Really want to make sure you get off to a great start. And finally, premium account management. For that first month, we'll have it free. It's typically an associated cost, but again, it'll be free for you. We just really want to make sure your campaign is off and running on the best start possible. So if there's interest, feel free to reach out. But in terms of everything that we've gone over today, I hope that it at least sparked some ideas, sparked some thoughts. It helped in some way to really push you forward into Q2, Q3, Q4, and beyond.
Thank you for this nice introduction and for helping us learn how we can acquire successfully more customers. So now it's time to look at the second part of the funnel, how to actually engage with customers and retain them once they've purchased from you. So let's first take a step back and look at our end consumers. We all see that with the current situation with COVID, customer behavior has changed. A lot of items have accelerated, such as the use of mobile phones. So if before a lot of customers were using or were shopping in the so-called mobile first approach, now we are switching to the mobile only approach. This means that if before customers were using their mobile devices for the first part of the funnel, for the awareness and the research, now they're using it for the whole funnel, and the whole process from research, awareness, purchase, and post-purchase are all happening on mobile devices. Actually, recent statistics show that over half of the consumers prefer and shop on their mobile phones. Now, with these changes, there is a big need for marketers and the brands to start looking at the things differently and be creative in how we actually communicate with our shoppers. Because if before businesses fought for the attention of users on their phones and on their desktops, now with the current shift, the consumption and the whole marketing part is happening on those tiny screens, and every inch of space is really valuable. So businesses need to find these new and innovative ways to cut through the noise and engage with their shoppers. And as Darren already said, thanks to amazing apps like Klickly, now it's really easy to still cut through the noise and reach those people still on budget. But yet, converting a lead into a shopper is only half of the work. We are currently seeing that the high competition among e-commerce businesses leads to declining retention rates among the brands. Currently, only 20% of your consumers will order again from you. And the truth is that even the slight increase in retention rates might lead to a big increase in profits. And the data goes from 25 to 95%. And this is actually where SMS marketing comes into play. It's direct, it has no spam filter, and with 98% of open rates, you're ensured that 90% of your messages will be read within the first 3 minutes. SMS is actually a highly adopted channel by the consumers themselves, as 89% actually report that they would like to receive SMS messages from their favorite brands. And this is why we are seeing that businesses using SMSBump drive over 25 times the ROI and have really great and steady results. So let's see how SMSBump can help you retain your customers. We're going to go on 3 main pillars. First, we're going to see how once a customer makes a purchase, you can continue the conversation on autopilot thanks to timely trigger-based messages. Then, we're going to learn how you can spark repeat purchases with personalized SMS marketing. And finally, we are going to see how you can boost loyalty and post-purchase care with one-on-one conversations. Okay, now imagine someone saw a really cool ad thanks to Klickly and their display ad service. They clicked on it, they converted, and now you have your first-time purchaser. So what to do from here? As you know, continuous engagement actually is number one reason why customers keep on buying from you. So it's really important to reach people at really key touch points. So once a customer makes a purchase, the first and really easy thing you can do is send up a follow-up thank you message. Then after some time, you'd like to follow up and ask them about their opinion on the product that they've purchased. Later on, if you see that they start to churn, you'd like to reactivate them with a really cool and personalized message. And finally, but not on the last place, always turn on your abandoned cart automations. Those are the most powerful automations that would always improve your customer retention and customer lifetime value. So let's dive right into it. If you're just getting started with SMS marketing, it would be best to start with your communication with transactional and very helpful messages. Actually, 84% of consumers want to receive shipping updates. And so you can do exactly that with SMS. You can send them an SMS message, thanking them about their purchase, adding a tracking number and a link where they can track their order straight on their phones. Then, once the customer received their order and they spend some time with it, it's time to ask them for their feedback. Using SMS for reviews boosts responses by 66% compared to other channels such as email. So if the customer has ordered many items, what I would suggest to you is to always add the picture of the product that you want them to review with the name of it, so they actually know which product you talk about. Adding a small nudge like 5 to 10% can really help with the submission of the review as well. Another thing that you can do, depending on your typical life cycle, is to set up a win-back flow. Something between 30 or 60 days can really help you keep your customers active. We've actually seen that customers using win-back flows have an 11% of conversion rate once sending those messages to inactive customers. So if you want to improve your results, what's really suggested is to have a really clear call to action and add a small nudge to help the call conversion. And then finally, make sure you always activate your abandoned carts flow. In fact, over 33% of carts are recovered using SMS reminder. And the key to a high converting abandoned cart message is to always use an image of the product so customers know which products you're referring to. Another nice trick you can use is also FOMO. So you can create a sense of urgency with words like items are selling out fast, limited quantity, while stocks last. So you can push them or push the recovery rates even more. Now, let's explore how we can actually push retention and customer lifetime value with one-off campaigns. So first, we've engaged with those customers, and now it's actually time to convert them and to nudge them to make second and third time sales. The two and the most prominent types of campaigns that you can run are exclusive SMS offers and new product launches. The secret to a successful campaign is to actually personalize it. And personalization is actually really easy with SMSBump. We offer over 22 different segmentation filters, so you can create really narrow audiences and target customers with really personalized messages that will convert. We sync with your Shopify and Yotpo data, so you have the full picture about your customers. Now, let's see which are the main ingredients to a successful SMS campaign. SMS campaigns should always have an eye-catching image, clear call to action, and personalized attributes like customer name. The engagement rate of SMS is 6 times higher compared to email, which makes it the perfect channel for timely promotions and offers. Customers that use SMS campaigns most of the times launch event-based campaigns like for Easter or Black Friday or Christmas, or they use them for special offers and flash sales. Another way to push repeated purchases is by letting your existing customers know that when you have a new product collection. 58% of consumers want to receive updates on new products from the brands they love. So if you want to increase the conversion of such type of a campaign, add a sense of urgency or add a sense of exclusivity by using words like limited editions, limited stock, and always try and add a picture of the products you're promoting. If you want to even further improve the results from such type of campaigns, create segments based on their past purchases and offer them complementary items. Now, coming to the final pillar of customer retention, the post-purchase care and support via SMS chat. SMSBump supports customer replies so customers can text you back with relevant data and questions. With SMSBump, you get a free dedicated number assigned to you personally for just for the use of you and your brand. To encourage customer communication via the channel, we advise you to send your customers a contact card with your brand details, like the name and the number where the customers can text you. This helps your customers stay connected with you and always know who's texting them from that specific number. Now, moving to one-on-one conversations. SMSBump supports SMS chat. So whenever a customer texts you back, you'll get a notification and you can reply directly inside the app. We also give you all the relevant data about the customer inside the chat itself, so you can quickly resolve their problem without having to switch back and forth from your SMSBump or Shopify account. So you have all the information straight in one place. They ask about something, you can check their past purchases, you can check all of their information, and you can quickly resolve their issue. But in case you're actually using already a help desk service, like Gorgeous, Zendesk, or Reamaze, you can connect it with SMSBump. So you have this really seamless experience where you as a merchant receive all customer questions and queries directly inside your help desk, and your support team can actually go and answer directly inside the help desk, but the customer will receive all those messages as an SMS back. So it's like a really seamless, coherent experience on just one device. So those are the 3 ways SMS can help you boost customer retention and customer lifetime value. I hope you enjoyed the session. And now let's go back and see all the questions that you've asked us.
Okay, let's see. Am I off of mute? Okay, I'll always do that. I start talking and I'm on mute. Looks like from Neil, on Facebook and Google, but we'll need to diversify for obvious reasons. We have a lot of questions to address directly to build out the strategy. Okay. Will the cookie apocalypse eliminate retargeting? Neil, basically, yes, for the most part. A lot of retargeting is based on the cookie. And so essentially the cookie apocalypse and or Google's updates is erasing now. Furthermore, it's erasing the capabilities of targeting on an individual basis. So a lot of the targeting is going to be lumped into an audience, i.e., maybe you might not know specifically targeting Darren, what I'd like, but you know Darren and 50 or 100 of his other friends like white collared shirts type of thing. So it's going to be a little bit more anonymized and much harder in terms of a targeting standpoint, similar with Facebook's iOS 14 stuff.
Exactly. And what I would like to add here is that now own channels are getting even more important just because of that fact. I mean, of course, cookie are going to disappear and other technology is going to happen as well. But still, like with all those changes, we're realizing how important actually own channels are and like nurturing the contacts that we're collecting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, part of data collection, right? And so that's part of what SMSBump does very well. It's kind of what we're doing in the background as well on some of our owned and operated sites. It's part of what I've meant in terms of first party data with partners, right? Just understanding what type of owned and operated sites they have, or are they kind of piggybacking off of others? Because if they are, then they're kind of in the same position that you are. And in turn, that can't really help you out much from a partner standpoint. It looks like there's a couple from Isaac. I'll start with one, I think, for you, Elena. How do shipping updates with SMS help with retention?
Okay, great question, Isaac. Basically, customer retention is all about building meaningful relationships with the customer. So it's not just about one-way communication when you spam them with marketing messages, offers, and push sales-related messages, but it's about being also helpful for the customers. So mixing your SMS communication with transaction-based and really helpful messages and marketing messages is a really great way to balance things out and to gain the trust of your customer and finally build this meaningful and long-term relationship with them.
Definitely. I think that kind of piggybacks off of Isaac's second question. How do we make sure we don't over collect data? I'm not sure there's ever like over collection of data is a negative thing, but I will say from a strategy standpoint, right? What you don't want to do is overwhelm anybody that's coming to your site and or has just purchased with trying to collect as much data as you can. That in terms of an experience leaves a bad taste in your mouth, right? If you just had a great experience, you bought a product, maybe you're excited, you might be more in a position to share some stuff, but not your entire life story. And or if you're just in a consideration phase and you're visiting the website, you might not necessarily be in a mental state to provide and or share that type of information. So I think over collection isn't necessarily a bad thing, but just be cognizant as to how you're collecting that and maybe a step-by-step process, right? Maybe starting with a phone number or starting with an email and then slowly progressing into other aspects. Maybe they've purchased a product and you can do a very short survey on things that will help you further identify targeting sets for your other audiences, things of that nature.
I think there is a question for you, like, how do you know if a company has a good first-party data? And what questions should you be asking to the partners for the first party?
Yeah, great questions. I think first and foremost, the easiest one to identify is if they're running their own and operated stuff themselves, right? Do they have any owned and operated sites, owned and operated publishing sites, etc., right? Because if they do, most likely they are collecting first-party data. In terms of the questions you could be asking those partners, just that. Do you run owned and operated sites? How do you collect your data? Where are you getting that from? Typically, those fundamental questions will at least lead you into some other conversational aspects of, hey, where do you get your data from? If they say, oh, we have, 85 million plus profiles, that's amazing. But where do you get those profiles from? Is it an unoperated site and you literally have 85 million people? Or are you kind of piggybacking into some other data sets in which you're kind of using for your own benefit, if you will? It requires a little bit more digging. My advice would be, don't be satisfied with the first answer. Get the second or third answer.
Yeah, definitely do agree on that.
Let's see. But I'm curious. Okay, good insights about Facebook ads, Darren. But I'm curious if and how SMS can help e-commerce brands in the upcoming cookie apocalypse. Great question for you, Elena.
Okay, I was just wondering if we should take it.
Oh no, that's all you.
Okay, so basically, SMS is a great retargeting channel. Once someone makes a purchase or once someone signs up for your SMS platform or SMS program, they're your own contact. This means that we as SMS service providers, we can help you send out the messages, but you still own those people. So you decide what messages to send them. You build up your own sustainable list. So there are no items like cookies or anything that can actually, take away those owned contacts. And this is how actually SMS, emails, and all those owned media channels are really helping merchants in that case. Yes, they in the awareness stage is like it's a bit tricky. You still have to rely on things like Facebook, Google Ads. But when it comes to retargeting, SMS is definitely the less costly and more targeted item, because you're only reaching out to people who are interested in your offers and who explicitly opted in to receive those promotions and offers from you. I don't know if that helps with the question. I hope so.
Somewhat unrelated to the question, but just SMS in general is, if you're not using it, it's an incredible tactic. For me as a consumer, if I'm super into a brand, I'm super into a product, and I'm getting SMS texts, I'm far more likely, one, to open them. I mean, 98% open rate, right? But also, it allows for quick communication for me too, and it's kind of cool, right? And if I'm already into the brand and I'm somewhat loyal and I have some advocacy, I'm going to respond and I'm going to give you information because I'm into it. So it's a very quick way. Cell phone is in everybody's hands, and it's quicker to me than email. I don't check my email every second. Not to say that I'm obsessed with text, but you get where I'm going.
Yeah, I think also the fact that SMS is just still not that saturated as a channel. So you actually have a high tendency to pay attention to what you receive, to read the messages, because we all know with the oversaturated channels, like you just scroll through it and maybe open 1 out of 10 items. So it's definitely there is a difference there.
It looks like Matt. Hi, Darren. Thank you for the presentation. My question is, how do we tie in automation channels with our own communities? Thank you. So I think it's split, right? So communities is certainly on the brand side. That is your homework. There's a lot of work within communities that you have to do to build those communities, interact, etc. Right? Where automation comes in is it allows for your continued presence elsewhere. It allows for continued traffic, continued sales, things of that nature that don't require day-to-day management. So it's not necessarily that it's fitting in with your own communities because you're building that community, but it's allowing for people that are talking about the community when they go outside. You remain top of mind. Your brand and your product remains in their head while they're seeing that. If you are or a new person maybe comes within the community, they hear about your brand and your product that are being discussed, right? You want to make sure that your brand and or product is there, right? And for the sake of it, I'll just use Klickly. We're not a direct-to-consumer brand, but if somebody's talking about Klickly and I'm later on, browsing the web and I see Klickly, because there was some sort of interest in what was being discussed, I'm much more likely to pay attention to that ad. I might not click on it, but I pay attention to it. And again, it's another little light bulb and another reminder in my head subconsciously that Klickly is there, right? And so that's how you want to use automation and community channels. The automation, the beauty of it is that you don't have to do much, right? You set it up and then you let it do what it does. You let the algorithm go, and day-to-day management is not needed. Hope that helps.
Okay, we have another cookie question for you.
Timeline, I don't know. Google's holding it to its chest. I have no idea. They let little tidbits here and there. Quite honestly, there's a lot of informed people, but honestly, simply put, it's a guessing game right now. They're saying 2022, but again, unknown on timeline, unfortunately. So that's why we've just our best advice is to start preparing for 2022, basically.
Yeah, better be early to the game than late.
Yes. Looks like one for you, Elena.
Okay, what are the best ways to collect data in terms of SMS marketing? I'm not really sure I'm out answering the right direction, so please, Isaac, type in right away if I'm going in the wrong direction. But the only thing you need in terms of data to start at your SMS marketing is customer's phone number. Like they need to consent to receiving messages and then submit their participation to the program. That's all that you need to start with your SMS marketing. And then once you're doing it, what we have is a really great features where customers can reply to your questions, and you can collect that data to give you more of an edge of what they're interested in, what they like to shop, or what their needs are. And based on that, then you can send them personalized and really tailored campaigns with products that they actually want to buy. I hope that answers the question, Isaac.
I'm going to piggyback Isaac's question really quick. Like, how do you collect that number? So are there different strategies of like, do you put it in a lightbox or like an email or?
Yeah, basically what we have are the so-called conversational flows where, for example, you can ask questions like, hey, are you interested in, let's say, what's your skin type, let's say. And then you can provide them with preset answers like, is it dry, oily, normal, whatever. And once they reply that, this is automatically fed to your segmentation system. So you can create segments with people that said, okay, we have oily skin, or with people that said that they have a normal skin. So you know what products you can reply to them. This is all fed inside the SMSBump user base data. I'm not really sure how this can be further fed to external system. Like that's a question I would need to ask our developers. But definitely the opportunity is there, and especially now with all the problems with the cookies and everything, we are definitely looking into expanding the database we have and like talking with a lot of different partners. As you said, the importance of having reliable partners on leveraging and like giving the merchant the full view of their customers and control over that data.
Definitely. I mean, if you can, right, upfront is cool. Some people are a little bit less comfortable with immediate phone number share, but I think why not? People are becoming more comfortable with it. So if you have a light box that says, give me your phone number and I'll give you 10, 15% off, then maybe they'll do it. Usually post-purchase as well is a great place to ask Isaac, hey, pop in your number, get new updates for promos, etc. I know that we're at time, I believe, but really quick, I think there was, oh no, just a comment. Yes, Sarah, it's all about owning your customers, reaching them at the right time, owning the synergy of your channels and having them speak to one another.
Yeah.
Well, Elena, I just want to say really quick, I know that we're out of time. Thank you so much for having us. For any of you that are interested, please reach out. It's just Darren at Klickly.com. We're happy to, even if you don't want to use Klickly, quite honestly, I'm happy to answer any other questions you guys have. But thank you, Elena.
Thank you, Darren, for being with us today, for sharing all this useful information. I loved having you here. Hopefully, we'll repeat with the next webinar soon. Just one final question from Neil. Neil will reach out to you, but yes, we do work with international customers. SMSBump sends messages in the whole world, so no worries, you can use us in France, Spain, everywhere in Asia, Australia. The choice is yours. So thank you again, everyone. It was great having you, Darren, and see you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.